Hey guys, I'm live. All right, so I got about 15 minutes. Thought I'd just do a quick little live here. I am early for an appointment. I have an acupuncture appointment. So I'm just waiting out in the car. I've got Maximus in there with me, and Sasha's in the back there sleeping. So it's nice and kind of a cool day. So they'll chill out, guard the car while I'm getting a quick. I think the acupuncture section takes about, I don't know, 15 minutes or something, like 20 minutes, somewhere in there. They stick a bunch of needles basically along my neck and back and down my arm. And I'm not sure if it does anything. I'm still kind of figuring that out, but it's relaxing. If nothing else, just kind of chill out. I just got done working out a little while ago. Squats, deadlifts, single leg squats. As I mentioned in the last video, I think I'm entertaining the idea of, pushing for a pretty decent 400-meter run. I'm kind of embarrassed that my daughter can beat me right now. I think can't let that stand. She's fifth. She's one of the fastest girls in the state, though, and so I need to level up my game. And I remember doing a 58 400-meter run when I was around 25 at about a body weight of about 230. This is right after I got back from New Zealand, where I was playing professional rugby, so I was in pretty good shape back then. But I think I can match that time even now, 30 some years later, and even at a heavier body weight. So we'll see. I was messing around with some 200 yesterday. I did one in 34. I need to get a 200 down to about 27 seconds. I think I'm good for around 30 right now. So I'll have to sort of, work a little bit, get that down there. And once that 200 is around 27, then that should predict about a sub 60 400-meter run. My daughter runs a 27, and she runs a 58. So that's, something like that. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at. Anyway, I'll answer some questions from you guys. I got Patricia G from Arkansas. Hey Patricia, how are you? So hopefully everything's going well. I got back from Germany, like I said, 2 nights ago. What is today? Today's Tuesday, so I got back in Sunday night, late on Sunday night. The good thing about Germany was I never sort of caught up on the time sync because it was too short of a trip, and so I basically had jet lag the whole time, but when I came back, it pretty much corrected itself. So I'm back to kind of regular sleep schedule, and I feel a lot better. It's amazing how much getting good sleep makes a difference. The whole time there, I was just kind of like, I couldn't sleep well, more symptomatic in the arm and stuff like that. Now getting back home, getting some sleep, it truly does make a difference. And so, as if, you didn't need any more evidence that sleep is incredibly important for people. So that is something that I've definitely found out. What else is going on here? I am fighting to get some studies done. We will do some studies through Revero once we're up and running, but I'd like to get, more studies regarding carnivore and diet as it affects health and disease conditions, because it's so incredibly important. I put out a video this morning about, why people are unable to change their diet, and that's a really important thing. Okay, here we go. So I see some questions coming in now. I guess there's like a delay or something like that. So it says, dumb username. What a great username, huh? I did carnivore 6 weeks, great results, but I haven't been able to get back into it. It's so dull. It's one of those things where too many delicious things to eat outside. That's certainly true. And, I think the food industry makes it that way. So it's really hard to, it's like, if you were a heroin addict and they had like multi-flavored heroines all over the place, it would be hard to resist that. I can see that. And you can certainly make carnivore more diverse if you want to, if you don't mind cooking, and the thing is, a lot of people are just there for convenience. It's just like, just go to Uber Eats, or go to the fast food place, or go to the restaurant, so I have to put in minimal effort to get, relatively delicious food. You can certainly make, there's all kinds of carnivore and carnivore-ish recipes to emulate just about anything. Lasagnas, pastas, pizzas, even dessert type things. So it's there if you want to. But again, it's work. So, it's like anything, and like I said, it depends where you're at. If you're generally healthy and, you don't really have any major issues, and maybe it's no big deal. But if you're sick and struggling, then those things become more important, I think. I always fasten on long airplane trips is supposed to help with the jet lag. Yeah, I generally do too, and I almost always do. You know, it's why I rarely ever fly like business class. I mean, I could for the leg room, and I'm almost, because I got to tell you, on the way back, I regretted it because, you know, when I usually don't get business class, because even if you get those reclining seats that lay flat, I still don't have enough room. So it's like, it's a waste. So I'm going to sit up anyway, and I don't eat the food, so there's no point in paying extra money for that. So, but I sat in, like I was on Delta, and I have something called Comfort Plus, which is kind of like the next level down. You know, you got a little more leg room, so on and so forth. But I sat in the front row behind kind of a bulkhead thing, and I didn't know if it was going to be behind the first row seats where I'd be able to stick my legs out, and it turned out it wasn't. It was behind this wall, and I literally couldn't straighten my legs out for this is from Detroit to Seattle. It was like 5 hours, and I was miserable. I need to be able to straighten my legs out to be comfortable, and because I couldn't do that, that was a long trip, and then I hadn't slept in like 30 some hours, and you know, yada yada yada. So anyway, but yeah, I usually don't usually do that. What is your opinion on Frank Tufano and how he doesn't really? That dude was a weird dude, I got to tell you. I haven't really, you know, I think the last time I even thought about that guy was 5 years ago. I remember Carnivore came on, and then he came on trying to claim he was this guru of carnivore and been doing it for years, which is probably fabricated. He probably made all that stuff, and he was just trying to, you know, it's kind of funny, you know, how many people have come out of the woodworks claiming they've been doing carnivore for decades or more, you know, suddenly, and there's no way to know. I mean, at least with me, you know, I was very public in 2016 when I was going carnivore. I announced it to everybody. I basically been, you know, documenting me eating steak every day for damn near, you know, soon to be going into my 8th year. But, you know, he was just a weird dude. I mean, he was a weird guy. He was probably just attention-seeking, histrionic type. He was, you know, I mean, he's just, I mean, as great that carnivore didn't work for him. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying, okay, don't do it. You know, you can do it, you cannot do it. You know, and I'm the same way. If it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't do it. If you do any diet that gives you problems, then you need to reevaluate things, right? Now, I mean, can you change things around, and maybe you're doing some things where you could adjust it? Yeah, sure. But again, I tell people, when people ask me about this and that, so why the heck are you doing the diet in the first place? If it doesn't make sense, like, well, I'm already healthy. I'm like, well, why are you changing? Why you know, the enemy of good is bad, is perfect, or sometimes, you know, don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing, right? So I don't know. I don't know what that guy's up to. I know he was kind of a bizarre guy. So who knows? Why would my ascorbic acid be elevated when I check my blood only on week 2 of carnivore? I'm not sure why you're even bothered to check that, but I don't know. I don't know if it has any relevance whatsoever. You know, blood ascorbic acid levels are probably a little information anyway. What we really need is carnivore liquor. There is actually, believe it or not, there is like a beer product that is made from fermented beef somewhere. I've seen that advertised, and so that does exist for anyone that is interested. I can't remember. I looked it up at one time. So it was like meat-based beer or something like that. I think I saw it somewhere in Europe. So there you go. There is some. All right. We got Brian Dickens asking me, what is my favorite salts? My favorite salts. You know, I got to tell you, as far as performance and taste, I really enjoy Malden salt. Not for any nutritional reasons, just because of the flavor and the parts, and just because of its, I guess, because of flake salt. And so the way I cook my steaks is usually conducive to salting afterwards, because I use extremely high heat, you know, 1500 degrees for my sear, which gives a really nice sear. But if you put salt on that, it tends to obliterate the salt. You know, the salt turns almost into like an ash type substance, and or it kind of melts together, and so it doesn't have a good, you know, I guess, performance. And so when going to a steak, a finishing salt, which Malden is quite good. So that's something that I enjoy. The difficulty is always willpower. Myokines are cytokines that increase the function of all organs in the body. They are released in the body when building new muscle tissue. Okay. Not sure how those statements are related, but yeah. Okay. What's the most difficult position to fill at Revero, says Lee Zapp. Well, I think it's always going to be, probably, well, engineers and physicians, the ones that have the sort of the most, I guess, skill set. I mean, we've got all of them. We've got engineers, we've got physicians, so, and we had, interesting, when we asked for healthcare provider, we had something like 200 applicants. So, so far we haven't had any difficulty filling any positions. I mean, engineering was, trying to find the engineers that have the right, I guess, knowledge base, and I'm not an engineer, so I can't tell you, but the right fluidity with certain software programs. But those are going on. But I mean, as and we'll see what happens when we scale up, because once we scale up, we're going to, and like I said, we haven't quite launched yet. That's happening very, very soon. But once we've launched, and we need more and more positions to cover all the patients, and we'll see if we run into any difficulties. Doc, do you consult with Ant or any carnivore physique athletes, fitter for life? I've done consultation with all kinds of athletes. So, I mean, it's, yes. I mean, the short answer is yes. I'm not a bodybuilding specialist. I've never bodybuilded. So, I mean, I'll put that out there. I can talk about, some generalities. And I've talked to a lot of physique athletes over the years and given them some strategies that I think have been helpful. Dev After Dark, would you recommend carnivore for chronic kidney disease? I would not recommend it. I don't think chronic kidney disease is a contraindication. I know that a lot of people say we got to cut back on protein. I don't think the research supports that. I think there's actually quite a bit of information that shows that, really with chronic kidney disease, you want to limit refined carbohydrates. You want to definitely cut back on processed foods. Whole foods are better, including meat, to include exclusively meat. So no, I would not recommend it. I think it's reasonable. All right, guys, I got about 3 more minutes here, and then I got to go in. Barb Wiest from Minnesota. Good to see you, Barb. Hit for life, so thanks for all you do. You're welcome. Much like carnivore diet, exercise is difficult, but doing both is a fountain of youth, but sure is hard. Well, I would say that exercise is probably even more important than diet, in my view. And I would agree it can be hard, but at the same time, it can be extremely, extremely, it makes the rest of your life easier, I mean, yeah, when I was doing deadlifts, they were hard for, 30 seconds, it was hard for 30 seconds, but because of that, it makes the other 23 hours and 59 minutes of my life easier. So anyway, Tina, which alcohol is least inflammatory? Gosh, I don't know for sure. I mean, ethanol itself is literally a liver poison. So, I mean, and there'll be, secondary, there'll be inflammatory elevations in liver markers with that. So it would be an alcohol that has, and again, of course, certainly high sugar content alcohol, mixed drinks with sugary stuff in there, high amounts of grain are going to be problematic. And so I think if you would have a dilute, sugar-free, grain-free alcohol would probably be your best bet. Now, I'm not sure which one that is, but anyway. Karsten Sorbo or something like that. Hey, Dr. Baker, I'm a 28-year-old male, had the exact same back injury with cervical radiculocyte in the active duty Air Force a year ago, rejected VA survey, but my pain is getting worse. Advice? Well, I mean, if it's getting worse, when you say back injury with cervical, you mean neck injury? I'm assuming you mean neck injury because cervical radiculopathy is from the cervical spine. I would certainly get it looked at again. I mean, like I said, particularly if you have weakness or progressive sensation loss, then it's something you need to look into. I don't know what kind of treatment you've had, what kind of, hard to say for sure. I'm available for consultation. I will say that you can book it through, do I have a bio in YouTube? I'm not sure if I do. There's a link. If not, you can go to shawn-baker.com, set up a consultation. We can talk in detail. Anthony, I have ulcerative colitis and no colon pouch. I need to use psyllium fiber while on carnivore, or my body, will my body adjust without the fiber and no colon? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only place that the fiber even has an interaction is in the colon, so you don't have a colon anymore. So, sure. guys, I got to go, unfortunately. You guys take care. I got to go knock out this acupuncture real quick, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Take care.